You know, I didn't know that Ahmed Sameh was here. I just want to say a word. I would have said a word about him, but he runs an institution in Egypt called the Andalus Institute that has used technology. They were one of the leaders in Egypt using technology. They also trained Tunisians in the use of technology, and those Tunisians were first part of the Jasmine Revolution in Tunisia, and they emailed all of their videos and everything to the Andalus Institute, and then they spread it around Egypt. And I think that a lot of people here saw the video of that Egyptian standing in front of that truck, that water hose truck. It was like a Tiananmen Square moment during the Egyptian Revolution, and that was taken by Ahmed's organization. And Saad, just following up as a concluding thought on your last point, you know that we've talked a great deal about whether the Middle East could replicate what the Central Europeans did in terms of cross-border work, where Poles and Czechs and Slovaks worked with others further to the east to create a better neighborhood, also to support freedom and democracy. Do you think that's going to happen, Saad? Can it happen, and how can it happen in the Middle East? Because this is really a regional phenomenon, but people in Yemen, people in Libya, people in Syria are going to need help from people in Egypt and Tunisia.
Yes. We have, in the conference I'm attending here in Brussels, we have fellow Tunisians with us. And of course, they're also facing challenges of their own. But we are all committed to fighting the battle, successive battles, to the end. And as I said, you know, democracy will not come by itself. Democracy has to be protected. Democracy has to be supported. And luckily, we have many forces around the world that are willing to help, both to give us the moral support as well as the technical and logistical support. And I believe we can do it. The regime, speaking of Tahrir Square, the regime tried the 3 or 4 things that really showed the decline and the backwardness of the mentality. They tried to intimidate the Tahrir protesters first by low-flying jets. And when that did not work, they tried trucks running into the square. When that did not work, they tried horses and horsemen. And when that did not work, they tried camels and camelmen. So everything they have tried in their arsenal, even though it was just the opposite of the evolution of means of transportation. People started with camels, then horses, then trucks, then planes. In that regime, it just go. And that was a testimony to how out of history they were. So young people like Ahmed and Sameh and all of the activists from Egypt and the rest of the Middle East are bound to find the ways and the means to combat even whether the military are sincere or not. We should not take it for granted. Let us give them a guarded benefit of the doubt, but we have to be very vigilant because, yes, they may or they may not, and we should not take a chance, and we should be always prepared, and we have to keep our powder dry. As Margaret Mead would say, keep your powder dry. Let us keep our weapons and our energy to guard over and to protect our values.
Saad, the young people are going to be in the forefront of the struggle, but I can assure you that they're going to draw inspiration from an old-timer like you. And I want to thank you, Saad, for everything you have done for the cause of freedom in Egypt, in the Middle East, and around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.